Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Colm McGuigan for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined by Dee Walsh, coach of Padraig McCrory, finally in Orlando. Dee, first of all, we're finally here. How does it feel for Paddy this week? Biggest of his career, biggest of your career as well.
That's amazing. It's took a long road for us to get here. So it's amazing to be here and one of the biggest stages in boxing.
When you started out with Padraig, obviously close friends and stuff, but when it got to the point of these big fights, did you ever envisage these moments coming along?
Well, to be honest with you, no. I just take things like a fight at a time. But I think even Paddy's exceeded where I thought he could go to, and I'm thinking because he's came this far. Because you would have laughed at Paddy or me if you had said that he would have got this far. So why not go all the way?
In terms of Paddy's career, you obviously came on board with him as a friend. Is it hard to distinguish between a friend and a coach, or do you believe it's actually an advantage for you guys?
Oh, no doubt about it. It's an advantage because I think me and Paddy have done more rounds of each other's sparring than we've done with anybody else when we've boxed. And so I know Paddy probably more than he knows himself. And on top of that, I trained my mate Rory Dalton, who's also one of my best friend before I trained Paddy. So I was able to get a bit of experience training a friend before I was able to train Paddy.
Let's talk a bit about Berlanga. How does a coach come up with a game plan for Edgar Berlanga, and do you believe that Paddy McCrory is just a step too far for Edgar this week?
Yeah, I do. I do believe Paddy's going to win. We came up with a game plan about, I'd say maybe about 11 weeks ago, when there was a chance that we could be crossing each other's paths. So we started on the game plan after we kind of watched them for a couple of weeks, and then we've cut out a few things that we didn't think would work, and then we stuck to the things that we are really confident that are going to work. And the more studying from that moment on that, I've been getting more and more confident. Even with Paddy sparring, things that he wasn't doing in the spar, and he could have been doing to make the spar better. He didn't do a few things, and then now he's actually realised that the fatal things that he needs to do for his fight here.
In terms of what Edgar Berlanga's weaknesses are, what have you spotted in his game that you believe Paddy McCrory can exploit?
Well, the way I work is I would study someone so much that I see patterns in what they do. So you've got two options in where you can do your best to completely nullify what they do and stop what they do, or let them do it and counter it. So there's going to be a bit of both in this fight. There's things that Paddy is going to have to stop, but there's things that we're going to let Berlanga do that we're going to counter.
I want to speak to you about something that I heard this week. I heard that you're unbeaten in 5 years, 51 fights unbeaten. Is that true?
Yeah, well, I started out coaching July 2018 was one of my first fights with fighters. Now obviously it slowed down during COVID and stuff like that there, but there's been a lot of 50-50 fights I've won, and I'm very, very proud of that record too. And when it comes to the end of this weekend, I plan on being still unbeaten.
That's a crazy statistic, and especially you say a lot of 50-50 fights. This is a 50-50 fight, and a lot of people are maybe thinking Padraig McCrory isn't on Berlanga's level, and other people will maybe say Berlanga's not the finished article. When you are around someone like Paddy McCrory, can you tell the people that are maybe on the fence of how important this fight is to Paddy, his family, and his legacy as a fighter, really?
Well, one thing is we've been to England and we've done this when Paddy fought Mickey Ellison. We've been to Frankfurt and done this when Paddy fought Leon Boone, and in both times Paddy was the underdog. Now I think this time that Berlanga's a better fighter than the first two fighters that I mentioned, but because he's done it already, I think it's given Paddy a good advantage coming in this year, one because of the experience he's gained. The first two times he's done it, going away from home and getting a knockout. when it comes to Paddy, when it comes to down in history and stuff like that there, and his legacy and stuff, I would say this is probably going to be the best Irish win. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you can think of a bigger one yourself, maybe Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz. I think there was before I would have been Andy Lee Corbov, but top of my head, I can't think of anyone that's been as big as this in the last one. It was 2016 Frampton one, so talking 8 years.
A final one from me, Dee. You've got a stable there. You've got a few boxers in that stable. Connor Quinn, who had another win at the weekend. Lee Reeves. Just from your perspective, how happy are you with your stable at the moment, and how high do you believe the ceiling is for some of these guys?
Oh, it's I'm very, very happy with my camp at the minute. Like we had Connor Quinn, who was main event last week, and he got a second round stoppage. We'll have Padraig McCrory this week, who's main event on a DAZN matchroom card. Probably don't get bigger than that. And then next week when I'm home, Lee Reeves is the main event in Dublin. So he fights a 9 wins, 1 loss fighter with 8 knockouts. So I'm hoping for 3 knockouts 3 weeks in a row, and 3 being the main event. So I'm really, really happy with the camp I have. And when it comes to how far these can go, I think with Paddy has proven that you can never really put a limit on anybody. Because as I say, 4 years ago, you never would have thought he would have got to this stage. So I believe that they can all go all the way.
Well, Dee Walsh, always a pleasure on AFL TV, and hopefully speak to you again when Padraig McCrory is victorious this weekend. Appreciate it, man.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.